Save the dreams for a king. This is H-Town, home of the lean. Astros is the team and we rock it. We rock Texans for life, you can't stop it. Together like brothers and bets and jets. All the time we be pumping on the grind. If it's LJ from Houston, pulling up stats, you'll be pulling in stacks, hitting bookies from the back with no Vaseline. I need green and upsea quantities for a fiend. Save the dreams for a king. This is H-Town, home of the lean. Astros is the team and we rock it. We rock Texans for life, you can't stop it. Together like brothers and bets and jets.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, sports fans? We're back again, LJ from H-Town, RaWordz podcast. And when we're doing this podcast, we like to talk sports, we like to get bets, we like to make money. So when we're doing the show, it's all about making money, getting down to business, capping these games, and doing what we love to do. And when I'm doing what I love to do, I like to have some more people on doing what I love to do. So first of all, we're going to bring on my guy from the Nerd Nation, Picks from Dave. What's going on, my guy? You're muted.
Yeah, there was a siren. I am not in the studio. I am not in the same state I usually am. So I decided to be polite and muted.
Hey, it's all good. I'm glad. How you doing, my guy?
I'm doing great. New year, ready to go. Transition, finish up this football season, get into basketball real heavy and hockey and everything else. So
hey, that's what we're here to do, man. That's what we're here to do. And speaking of hockey, got another guy on here that had the pleasure of joining us tonight. My guy, Occupancy. What's going on, my guy?
What's up, LJ? What's up, Dave? Happy to be here.
Hey, man. I'm happy for you to be here, too. So, like I just mentioned, I just want to do a little quick show. Not too long. Want to talk some NHL, because I'm starting to cap NHL now. And I wanted to bring some more familiar people on that can give me more insight on some teams. Because, I just really go off the stats and the trends. Because I don't watch hockey. I don't know a lot of the players. I know Ovechkin and, people like that, McDavid for the Oilers. But, I need to learn more about some more younger players that's trending up, scoring a lot, shots on goals, things like that. Because I like to take props, too. I don't necessarily like to take sides all the time. So if I could find a couple of players that I could, jump on and make some money, with their shots on goal, considering how often they try to score, hey, I'm all with it. So this is why I got y'all on, so we could just bounce ideas off each other, talk some NBA, NFL, even talk a little bit about the national championship coming up next Monday, TCU, Georgia. So we'll get into that later. But let's start it off with some hockey, guys. Tonight, did you have let's start with you, Dave. Did you have anything tonight on some hockey plays?
I do. I didn't in this first game that's going on right now. Actually, I think the Wild game already – I'm not even paying attention. The Wild game did go off. Or no.
It's 8:30. It comes on at 8:30.
Aha. See, another thing is I'm on a computer that's on Mountain Time, and I'm in Pacific Time. So I'm all messed up. But either way, so I have two bets on that game. One is an obligatory bet. If you didn't know, the Occupancy definitely knows. One of the worst decisions of my life was to take every Wild game on the money line, a half a unit, because someone told me they're a profitable team. I think as of now, I'm right around even, but they're a horribly frustrating team, and they're the favorite here. I took the Lightning, who to me are a way better team. Probably Occupancy can talk about the spot because he's much better. This is my first season capping hockey, but I'm catching on quick, and I basically hedged my Wild bet with what I think is the better team. I also took the Ducks team total under 2.5. They average 2.1 goals their past 10 games, barely over 2, and they stink. And this is what's funny is the Ducks should be my team. That's where I'm at right now is in Orange County. I grew up here, and they're the team here, but they're awful. And that's probably because they got rid of the cool logo they used to have from years ago from when Disney owned them. But anyway, those are my two bets.
Okay. Occupancy. What'd you have going tonight in hockey?
Yeah, I got a few things, and definitely LJ, like what you were saying with cashing in on the props. I mean, we're here to make money, and I got some numbers for this game coming up here with Tampa and Minnesota.
I got my pen ready, sir. I got my pen ready.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. On the Jersey game, I would have done a team total over 3.5 puck line split with them, which I did, but I ended up splitting it up, race to 3 through 5. So I got the Devils; they're up 2-0 going into the third. So those are looking good. I hit a goal in first 10, no, in the first period, and pushed on a money line. So it's kind of just one of those volume type of games for me. Low volume, low units, right? Just putting up, because I got, these totals, man. These games end on 5 goals and no one wins. It's like sometimes, like, it's just with hockey, it's a 2-2 game. It's just this gridlock. There's not like in basketball or even baseball sometimes, like with these differences of spreads and runs. It's like hockey can be this 2-2, 3-2, 4-2 game, and it's just tough to make money in. But looking at this is a TNT game actually coming up, Tampa, Minnesota. Minnesota is a -115 home favorite. The total's at 6, shaded to the over, around -125 I'm seeing it at. The Wild have not played since the break. They're 21-13-2, third in the Central, 3-2 in their last 5. Tampa coming in 4-1 in their last 5. One of those wins being in OT, third in the Atlantic, 24-11-1. Tampa, looking at them over the years, they're a dynasty. I mean, if they're not a dynasty, they're the team. They're just almost a dynasty. They're that close. I mean, they're special. So I started Elliott last night. That, like Dave was saying earlier, you got to look at these spots, and they beat Chicago last night, and they put in Elliott. So we got Vasilevsky and Gustafsson for the Wild. So he's more their number 2 for the Wild here. But it's like, where are we going to cash? So the way I'm looking at this is, Tampa in their last 3, they put up 29 shots, 35 and 40. And Minnesota has been letting up shots, 31, 43, and 32 in their last 3. Dallas peppered them right before the break. And there's a prop. It's Gustafsson saves, and it's over 26.5. He's 2-1 in his last 3 at that clip. And the way Tampa shoots and what game script, you're thinking, I think he can get the 27 saves or more. It's a -125 right now. That's the way I'm looking here. Other props that I would look at, Joel Eriksson Ek. He's this really, kind of burly winger on the Wild. Top 3 in shots on the team. His kind of 2.5 save prop or shot prop. And that's what I would go with him. You can currently get that around -110. It's kind of like a standard bet. Boldy, Stamkos anytime, Kaprizov anytime goal scorer. Those are probably the way I would go. I don't personally bet anytime goal scorers that much. Those are like big plus monies. You can cash those. But I'll be looking at I already bet the Gustafsson saves prop.
Okay. He's with Tampa Bay, right?
He's the backup for the Wild.
Oh, the Wild. Okay.
Yeah. So the game script, I know a lot of people in our space are on the under. I think there's a big team ride on the under. Vasilevsky, one of the best goalies in the game. I was looking at their numbers as well. I lean towards the Wild just because of the back-to-back and then coming off the break. So that's the way I play this game. It's gonna be a great game. You can maybe even get in with like a team total over live as well. I'll be talking a little bit about that live angle in the next game for tonight. But that's just a quick rundown of that TNT game.
Okay. Hey, it's all interesting to me. I wrote down some stuff for that game as well. The Lightning are pretty good versus the West. They're 6-0 versus the Central, but the Wild are 5-0 ATS and last 5 versus the Lightning. So both of them are trending towards, success. But like I said, I like that Gustav. What's his name again?
Gustav.
Yeah.
Gustav. Okay.
I think the thing in this game isn't why the Wild are favored. Granted, besides the Wild losing to the Stars, they ripped off a real good streak there right before that. They played shitty teams, though, I will say that. But the only reason why I think this is kind of screwy to me is although the Lightning are on a back-to-back, they're starting Vasilevsky, who's one of the best goalies in the NHL. Maybe not as good this year, but didn't he win the Vezina last year?
He a couple years ago.
Yeah. Anyways, that's like the Cy Young Award for NHL. It's the best goalie.
Okay.
So he's up there in that ilk. And then Gustafsson isn't, well, I actually think they're more equal than most people think, but Gustafsson isn't supposed to be as good as their first stringer Fleury. So it's the first string goalie versus second string goalie, a better team with the first string goalie, in my opinion, but they're on a back-to-back. So the Wild are favored. That's my angle on this. But back-to-back is important in hockey, like occupancy said. So anyway.
And Tampa, I don't want to talk about the cap too much, but they go over the cap. They have no problem putting their best players on IR. They can show up any night. They can, listen, they still play to win, but you just never know with that kind of stuff with 82 game season and stuff like that as well.
Hey, all righty. So basically, leaning Lightning, you said?
I haven't bet it, but I'd be going with Wild.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah,
on opposite sides.
Okay. Hey, let me make a marker right there because it don't start at 8:30. We got 30 minutes, so
that goalie prop is really cool. And I'm gonna. How much time do you have? 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Yeah.
30 minutes,
I'm gonna be looking at it while we're talking. But that's something that what I like to do is ladder that. So I'll take like a quarter unit or a set amount and ladder at 4 levels, up, especially if they're shooting 31. You said 31 shots. Shots on goal per game.
Yeah, right. I mean, they're Tampa shooting.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
All right. Well, I got it wrote down right here. So, like I said, we got 30 minutes. If we want to put it in, we can make that decision. But let's go to the Stars and Ducks. What about you, occupancy? You said you had some on these, so
yeah, I'll just fire off
this game.
Yeah, real quick. Minus 210 Dallas favorites. Anaheim plus 175 home dogs. Totals at a 6, shaded to the over. Dallas is first in the Central right now, 23-10-6. Ducks are last in Pacific, 10-24-4. It's a tale of two cities, total opposites here. Dallas 4-1 right now. Anaheim 1-4 in their last 5. So it's just, we hear in hockey all the time this tank for Bedard and LJ, like one of these younger players to keep an eye out is this Bedard kid playing on, U20 Canada right now. And, the teams towards the bottom are all kind of saying, and I don't think you can actually tank. I don't think anyone's going. I don't think the coach in the locker room is going to say, hey guys, let's lose these games so we can get this kid. I mean, no one ever is going to say that. So it's kind of just a thing. But either way, Anaheim is they're just not a great team right now. But unless you have the bankroll to lay minus 210 for Dallas outright, that's not something I can do. Team total for Dallas is over 3.5. John Gibson's in net. He's an Anaheim guy. He can be up and down. I actually cashed with his saves prop the game with Nashville. They set him pretty high for him around 30.5. Tonight it's at 32.5. So they expect Dallas to pepper him. Dallas in the last 3 has put up 30, 31, and 43 shots. But Anaheim lets up so many, 33, 43, and 51 shots Anaheim's let up in the last 3. So it's a high number. I would bet it depending how things go tonight, maybe. But at the same time, it's just a 32.5. If you're doing any type of play, that's a high. That's like some of these other plays, that's a high thing to get. Yeah. So over 1.5 points, over 30 saves, it's just a lot. So when it's all said and done, I could never bet an under with Gibson. He can look good, but I also keep my eye out on the trends, and both teams are 1-4 to the over 6.5 in their last 5. So I'm not going to go in pregame trying to go over 6. I'm not going to do it. I would maybe wait till that first whistle, 13, 14 minutes, 12 minutes in, and you're going to see a 5.5 up on the board. You trust Anaheim to get 1 or 2? I don't know. I think this could be easily a 4-1 game. But I think Dallas ultimately gets the win. Haven't gotten to anything official yet. But obviously, I'll tweet out anything that I put out from the show. But yeah, it'd be an interesting game. Props, I looked at those as well. From the Dallas side, Jason Robertson is the guy now, 130 shots around. He's crushing on the team way more than anyone else. But you got to be going over 3.5 with him. So I look at a guy like Tyler Seguin. He's been around the league for a while. You can get his over 2.5. Let me see what that price is.
Who does he play for? Stars?
He's on the Stars, yeah.
Okay.
It's plus 110 for his over 2.5. He hasn't been hitting it. That's why I kind of didn't pull the trigger on it right away, but it's something I would definitely go and look back at because I think he was hitting it before. He's one of those players kind of can show up whenever, but he's good. I mean, he's good. I think he's an all-star, first round pick, second overall, 2010 draft.
Okay.
A guy. Yeah. So he's hit it 2 in his last 4, 3 in his last 5. He's hit that clip. So if you're looking for some action in the game, you want to root on a couple of Dallas players. And then on the Anaheim side, I'd be looking at Frank Petrano. He's a guy who bounced around the league a little bit, played for the Panthers and the Rangers. Now he's on Anaheim, still top 3 on the team in shots. So I'd be looking at him as well. Didn't again pull the trigger yet on that, but Sagan I think would be the way to go for me. And then they didn't. I was gonna say like with hockey and it's like with baseball and you get the starters. You sometimes get those ahead of time, and then they sort of have it all listed for you. In hockey, some coaches may not even ever confirm a goalie, so you sort of so they don't even hang the props. Like tonight, I think expected would be Ottinger, but I think now I'm seeing Wedgwood, so I'm not even seeing a goalie. Okay, Wedgwood got confirmed for Dallas, so but again, my book they actually didn't put the prop up. Sometimes you got to kind of be like right around puck drop to get those in. But anyway, all in all, I think Dallas wins by margin in this game. I'm just not sure, what I want to put down on the board.
Okay. Yeah, I looked at Dallas. They trend to the under pretty much, especially on the road. And they're on the road tonight. But, they may want to put some pucks up on the Ducks tonight. Who knows? Like you said, it's kind of tricky when you're dealing with those type of trends because it really just depends on the matchup when those trends tend to fall into place. So I understand your angle on there. Dave, did you have anything on the Stars? Ducks?
Oh, yeah. The Stars have been one of the teams I really like to bet. They were real hot in the beginning of the season. Their offense was. I definitely think they do win by margin. I am someone that doesn't, just like in baseball, actually in baseball, I do a lot more than hockey. I don't mess with the puck line too much. I try to get stuff in reg instead of betting it money line. But in this game, definitely the best bet, I think, is Ducks team total under 2.5. They aren't scoring. I think there's a stretch of 10 games, and in those games, there were 2 high-scoring games, but they had 2 goose eggs and 4 games where they scored 1 goal, and it averages out to right around 2 goals per game in their last 10. So I'm on the Ducks. 4-1 sounds good to me. That's what occupancy said. 4-1 Stars. It's about what 4-1, 4-2.
Okay. Well, I've bet the Stars too a couple of times. I bet on the puck line. I think I lost more than I wanted. So I can understand your angle just taking
their team total for a while was really good. It kind of died off, but I hit it hard at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Team total.
All righty, man. That's some good information. I wrote down a couple of players, so I'll be looking to play on them in the future, man. Let's Thursday, tomorrow, occupancy. I threw out a couple of games. Just want to get some quick notes on, while you're here. Predators, Hurricanes at home, 12-3-1, 9-1 in their last 10, 11-3-5 versus the West, and they're 5-2 at home versus the West. And the interesting angle I have for them is that they're 11-5 to the under at home. So, did you have anything on Predators and Carolina initially?
So it is a game. When we see minus 200 or more favorites, you gotta really find your way in. One thing though, they hang these low numbers for Kochetkov. He's this new goalie from, I think, Russia probably. And they hang 23.5s, 24.5s for him all the time. So this would be one of those games where I would be checking out Nashville. Last 3. What they've been shooting at. I'm just looking here right now. They beat Montreal 6-3, lost to Vegas 4-5 on that Saturday game, and then that 6-1 game with Anaheim. So that's a prop angle. Martin Necas, this guy in Carolina. He's good. He scored 5 minutes left in the game when they beat the Devil or tied it up. He gets on the board all the time. People know him. He's good. We don't get prices early, but he's a guy I'd be going point, goal, shots. Brent Burns, obviously from San Jose, he's coming over. Just he's good. I mean, they're this Carolina team is just not a team I would mess with at all. I love to pick my dog spots. I do.
Yeah.
But they had like a record break in December. They're on. Laying the puck line with them plus 120. I can see it right now. That's probably the way I go with that, or reg, or I haven't gotten too deep into that game, but that's just a quick take.
Okay. They slipped up last night. I had them versus the Rangers. And Rangers got them last night. But I'm not scared to go back to them. I never get off a team that's playing like that just because they had one loss. I don't do that. But if I start to see it trending down, of course I'm going to back away. But I'm not scared to still bet on the Hurricanes right now.
Yeah, I think that's just you're playing that's the Vezina Trophy winner from last year is Igor, Shesterkin there, and it's a tough game. I mean, they played the playoffs deep. Like I was on Carolina too and kind of busted up a couple parlays. Pretty upset about that, but you just play it every day. That's where we are.
Yeah. How about you, Dave? What you got on Carolina Predators? Anything?
I'm leaning, even though Nashville trends to the under, Carolina's trending to the over, and I'm looking at these past few games, how many goals these teams have scored.
Okay.
And 6 seems like a good number to me. I'll probably get on the over at 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're expecting Carolina to score most of those goals.
If you look at and then again, like I said, if you think that way, they say, well, why don't you take Carolina on the puck line? I need to ease it. I'm easing into hockey, and one of the things I just haven't got a knack for is betting the spread or the puck line.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the Hurricanes, their past few games, I mean, 3 goals, 5 goals, 4 goals, 3 goals, 6 goals, 4 goals, 4 goals, 3 goals. I mean, that's definitely an average of over 3, probably closer to 4. Mm-hmm. And if you think that the Predators are going to contribute, 6 is the lower number. You see 6.5s and 6s are the 2 most common numbers, and 6 you can get a tie too. So it's a little bit safer of a bet.
Okay.
I just very basic capping. I'm looking at the over in that game.
No, Dave, I like that a lot. I actually look to bet that with you. I think Nashville putting up goals on their last 3, 6, 5, and 6. So especially if we get Antti Ranta on Carolina in the net there. He had a couple good games, but he's not a 1 goal a game, 2 goal a game. He's more of a 3.
Yeah, I've seen him in the chats, and he's usually made fun of. Usually you can tell when these names come out and they say, oh, this guy's coming in. It means that this goalie's a second. Actually, they have 3 goalies, don't they? I think they carry 3.
Yeah, Freddie Anderson's hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. Ranta had 2 shutouts back to back, and I was like, oh, what's going on? But overall, like he's not that. But I think the over could be a good look. Carolina, they're fun to watch. Like they're a fun team to watch.
Okay. Good site. Good some information right there, man. Let's go to, I have the Blues and the Devils next. The total hasn't came out yet, but I just wrote down a couple of things for us. The Devils 10-1-1 versus the West, 7-2 at home versus the West. The Blues are 14-6-1 to the over on the road, but they're only 5-10 versus the East. So what about you, Occupancy? What you got on this game?
Yes, sir. This game is definitely caught my interest. I like the over. St. Louis, 2 goalies they keep are Grice and Binnington. Both have about a 3.5 goals against average on the season. That's not great. If you look at recency, 4-1 are the Blues to the over 6.5 in their last 5. They're just, they had that foot race with Toronto the other night.
I was on that too. And lost it.
On the side of Toronto?
Yeah, I was on Toronto.
I passed. It's like the over would have been just that's the way you would have won that one. But I think we'll get it tomorrow because the Devils right now they're playing, right? And they put in Vanacek, they're number 1. So they're getting Blackwood tomorrow. If this game had gone like 2-1, if it was a real low scoring, I would have been super confident on the over because I think they go back and forth with that. But now this game could run up as well. I got the over 6.5 as well.
Okay.
But I like the over 6.5 here. I think that's the move for tomorrow's card for St. Louis jersey. Yeah.
All right, Dave, what you got?
I'm right on that with him. Just looking at this game. No, by the way, this a team that's been really good this year, and a team that I think isn't that good from what I've watched and seen within the Blues. So I mean, this might be something where I'd think about maybe taking, like, looking into the puck line, but definitely the over, particularly because, and this is very basic too, but it's kind of this way in hockey. I've noticed usually when you see lines that are juiced to the over, it's going over more than, I mean, I bet you if you looked into that, the percentages, I think the juice kind of shows you where it's going. So it's oftentimes it's oftentimes a good thing to do to go to, that was a tongue twister, to go towards the juice. And this kind of looks like it might jump to a 7. Most books have it at like -125, -128, and you see that rarely. But this is telling you there's going to be goals in this game, so take the over. That's what the line's telling me. I know it's very basic, but I would lean the over too for sure.
All right, man, I got it circled and wrote down right there. So yeah, I got it.
Yeah, and if you, I'm absolutely with Dave there. If you don't want the hook or the 7, maybe wait 5 minutes too into the first period. But don't think about it. That would be like you got to go on 5.5 or like 5 minutes in, like you gotta.
Okay.
Yeah, LJ, another thing you do, and I don't know if you do this, but betting live, if you have a 6.5 and you wait till there's no score and you're looking at the live line, and when it gets to 5.5, you bet it immediately. If you think it's over and you don't like the juice. That's a way of you wait 5 minutes, let it go down to 5.5, and then hit it.
Got it. Duly noted, buddy. Duly noted. Let's move on to this one. Kraken and the Maple Leafs. Kraken are 7-6 versus the East, 2-3 on the road versus the East, 10-4-12 on the road. Toronto's 11-5-3 versus the West, 7-3 at home versus the West, and they're 13-12-4 at home. So they have pretty much success versus the West. But I like betting on the Kraken. I went on them last night on the road, and I'm gonna continue to keep riding the Kraken, man. I've had a lot of success with them, more than not. So, but Toronto's a good team. And I looked they're good at home, and they're very good versus the West. So very intriguing game I wanted to talk about, y'all. So, Dave, let's start with you. Did you have anything on Kraken Maple Leafs?
I actually don't. I found very few spots to bet the Leafs this year. The arguments he knows, I kind of joke about the team because at the beginning of the season when I knew nothing about hockey, I looked at their names and noticed that the Leafs is spelled wrong, FS versus VES. But it's actually proper. It's actually proper English because Maple Leafs is a proper noun. You can have FS. Anyways, that's about as much as I've gotten into the Leafs this season. I haven't really found spots to bet them. I have made money on the Kraken. They were doing a little bit better for me, and then I went on a cold streak of I think 2 bets. So this isn't a game that caught my eye, and I haven't capped the whole card yet. But of the games before the show when I was going over everything, this is one that did not catch my eye. So I don't have anything in this one.
Okay. Occupancy. You got anything?
Yeah, Kraken are they're just an interesting team. I'd be tempted to take that big plus price with them. I really would. Toronto, on the other hand, I just don't know what to expect. I looked at this one. I couldn't get to anything. I'm just looking at some over trends here. 6.5 the total. Right now, -105. Toronto actually has gone over in 5 of their last 5. Okay. And Seattle, this could be a good over spot. I think this game could be a good over spot. You could do Kraken in the over, 2 small units. Get that. I mean, right now I could get Kraken in the over, probably around +400. Just things like that. But bankroll management, you gotta, everyone bets differently. So no full unit plays or anything for me on this game. Just lean towards Kraken in the over.
Okay. Yeah, I'm right there too, man. Like I said, Toronto's good at home, but the Kraken on the road, man, they can put up goals. Like you can just take their team total usually. You don't even really have to take a side with them for the most part. But I like the Kraken as well. So I'm glad y'all are with me on that one as well. So let's talk Islanders and Oilers are next. Yeah, Islanders and Oilers. Total over 6.5. Islanders are 6-1-0 versus the Pacific Division. The Oilers are 4-3 at home versus the East, and they are a trending over team. I have researched 14-5-2 to the over at home. So, Dave, did you have anything on Islanders and Oilers?
I don't. I was looking at this game, trying to get on something. Maybe lean Islanders just because I'm capping the capper, and some cappers I know are on the Islanders and getting plus money. But Oilers are a good team, and like you said, one of the guys McDavid. I mean, they've got one of the best players in the game.
Yeah.
I don't know who's in goal. Maybe we should look that up. They're not going to say this early, but I wonder if Goalie Post has it. Maybe we should look it up.
I'm guessing it'll be Skinner. The Campbell played last, at least for the Oilers.
Yeah. And so that's why I asked you, LJ. There's Campbell is notoriously not a good option in goal, or at least he's a fade guy. Often, definitely was the end of last season when I wasn't betting it. But if Campbell's in net, that's a good spot to bet against the Oilers. But the line's probably telling me that the better of the two is in goal. So lean Islanders, probably not betting it, but people that are Nick is on the Islanders. Granted, that's his team, but Nick and Tim, who's a Sabres fan, they actually tend to pick their teams a lot of the times in the right spots. They're not
homers, is what you said. They're not homers.
They'll bet against them, but they really do have a knack for picking their teams. And this is a plus money spot, so if you like plus money, the Islanders could be a bet for you. But I'm not there yet.
Okay. I didn't have any. Like I said, the Oilers are trending to the over. That's pretty much all I had. But like I said, I just want to talk to y'all, see if y'all had any more insight on how these teams are doing right now. But Islanders is basically, is the lean for the most part. Last one I had, like I said, I didn't do them all. I just picked a couple of them. Penguins and the Knights. The Knights 11-5-0 versus the East, and they're 6-3-1 of the last 10, and they look like they trend more to the under at home. Penguins 9-5 versus the West, but only 3-4 on the road versus the West. So occupancy. Have anything on Penguins and Knights?
Minus 120 for the Knights would be the first thing I would take. Their form right now in the last 5, 3-2. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, just kind of laid an egg in the outdoor game. They were looking like they were going to win it,
right?
But just really couldn't create any separation. Vegas has a lot of people out. Their back line is beat up a little bit. So when you look at this game, it's a lean to the Knights at home. You got to look at like something like travel spots. Like, Pittsburgh's flying across the country to go play in Vegas. Their clock's off 3 hours. Like it's, first game of a road trip. I don't know who they play next, but I'm guessing now they're probably going to go through the gauntlet out west. So, maybe they lose one and then, you back them the next night. But minus 120 is a pretty short price for the Knights. That's the way I think I'd go. Thompson's been playing well. My book's actually hanging a 3 for Vegas team total at minus 130 for the over. That could be. They don't really hang 3s a lot. It's usually on those 3.5s, but they probably want money. So, props. You gotta look at the injury report here, but
see, those are things I don't do, Minaki. Like I said, that's why I'm talking with you. So to let me know, like, who are the teams that are vulnerable right now that don't have their key players, so I'll know not to even look at those teams. That's
Riley Smith
needs to know.
Riley Smith on Vegas. He's kind of an older, been around. Not one of the younger players. He's always solid. Jonathan Marchessault, but he was hurt. But Riley Smith, Pietrangelo, these are always people. If they're on your card, no one's gonna, you'll be fine.
Eichel hurt. Eichel's
hurt as well,
which would be a dude
Martinez
that would be a bet on guy for anytime goal type of guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So they're going through the midseason grind.
Okay.
I gotta jump off after the hockey section, but I don't know if you do a best bet or anything like official like that. But I know you're saying this is the last game on the card for the NHL you're looking at.
Well, give it to us. What you got? Let me know.
So I'll put that Gustafsson over 26.5.
Okay.
For tonight. I'm gonna go also with the Wild on the money line at -115. Those two official for that game. You know
what? I'm gonna jump on it too because I just want some money with the NBA. So why not? Let's play with my winnings.
Yeah, if you think Tampa comes, putting up 29 shots, he lets in 2. Tampa can put up 29. It's Tampa. And then just 2 more here, on the official side of things. I gotta be on the over with Gibson and Wedgwood and Stars Ducks. It's a -120. And I'm going to run with that Sagan over 2.5 as well.
Okay.
So that'd be the 4 bets for tonight. And then for tomorrow, let's go with that over 6.5 in St. Louis jersey.
Got it.
Islanders money line and Vegas team total over 3.
Okay. All righty. I got you locked in, sir. Appreciate your time, man. If you want to give out, let anybody know where you at, where they can follow you, hit you up.
Yeah. I was just at occupancy as a 0. Definitely post some plays and cards. Always down to chat hockey and just getting into basketball and football. But I love baseball, when that time comes as well. I know college games too. I do some NCAA, hoops and football every now and then. But just definitely, appreciate the followers and everyone hit the like button. LJ puts out a lot of good work, a lot of props. I definitely tell you, some of those NFL props as well. Those are always good to see. Dave, great to see you. Been a pleasure, guys.
Hey, man, appreciate your time, buddy. I'll hit you up next time I do a show, see if you're available, and we can do it again.
Right on. Talk to you guys later.
All right, buddy. All right, Dave. You wanted to talk some NFL, sir. So how about we transition into this last week of this NFL
We can do that
season?
for sure. And by the way, on that other game, I am looking at that Golden Knights Penguins game.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I'm looking at the Knights too. The problem is the line's moving the other way. But the Penguins are on a 4-game skid, and then they're traveling across the country to go play what I think's one of my favorite teams to watch in the Knights. They play hockey like the Steelers or the Ravens. They're hard nosed. They don't stop. They're not real tricky with set plays and passes. They just come and want to smash the puck, and their goalie's good. So, anyways, I like the Golden Knights tomorrow too. I think that's a good bet.
Hey. All right, man. I got it all wrote down right here. So, like I said, during the day when I'm working, I'm driving, listening to different people. And that's usually how I make my bets. If everything correlates and I'm hearing the same thing from the people that I, trust that have the knowledge, that's how I bet. Because like I said, I don't watch hockey games to actually know how they're playing. So I need more insight with people that actually know the sport and things like that. But I'm always trying to make money, man. And however way I can make it, I want to make it. So yeah, like I said, let's move on to this NFL, man. I had a decent week last week. I almost hit my poll again, like the picks that I do, the 500 at the end of the week. One team, man, and you probably can guess who it was. Just killed my whole thing.
Houston?
No, I had the Jags minus the 4. I had Miami +3. I didn't have the Patriots on the money line.
I was on the other side. Matt Patricia's a dumbass for going for. They were up 9 points. 3 minutes left. He goes for it on 4th and 4 to kind of like end the game. All you can do is kick a field goal.
Yeah.
Instead, they give the ball back to Miami, backdoor cover with 2.5 minutes left. It's like that fat bastard.
Yeah, we knew that was going to blow up
Yeah.
in Belichick's face, man. Why you got a defensive coach calling plays, man? Like,
Yeah.
why? But no, man, it was the Eagles, man. They
Was
slipped
it?
up against the Saints, and now you know how we look back on how we lost our bet. We kind of get the insight of why we lost that bet. You know, the offensive lineman was out, Lance Johnson, I believe, one of their best offensive linemen, and we were going with another backup quarterback. Now, not to say Minshew did what he did versus Dallas. They put up points, but at the same time, he's still a backup for a reason.
Yeah.
And I should have known at least to take the Saints with the points. You know what I'm saying? Just to cover, maybe they won't win the game outright, but they'll keep it close. But I was thinking Philly was going to lock up home field, you know, coming off the loss versus Dallas. So, yeah, it is what it is. That's why we bet. We win and we lose. But all in all, I had a decent day. I didn't lose too much, but I could have won more if I would have played some things better. But hey, it is what it is. Like I said, we move on, and I'm ready for the playoffs. But all these games this week are all division games. So when I was on Nick's show on Sunday, we made a joke about how about we just spam all unders and just see how it comes out.
Love that. Did that all season. What are you talking about?
Yeah, right.
Over.
So, but let's start off with the Chiefs and the Raiders, man. Saturday, Chiefs -9.5. How did you index this game? What we got?
So here's the deal. This is why this is different this week. I only indexed 3 games, and that's because the last game of the season has so many different things going on. You have 4 different type of teams. You have teams that are motivated that want to win because they have different positioning. They're getting in the playoffs, right? And then there are teams that are kind of motivated that might have a move up from a 5 to a 6 or from a 6 to a 5, something of that nature. Then you have teams that are resting people because they know they can't move, like the Giants. They're in, they can't do anything, so they're going to be resting a lot of people. Then you have teams that are eliminated. And so, for instance, if you have two teams that are eliminated, which isn't this game, it becomes a preseason game. Are they sitting people? Are they starting people? Are people that have incentives in their contracts? I sent you something. I DM'd you something. If you have incentives in your contract, they're going to want to play. You don't know all of these things. So I'm not even looking at any games at all that have 2 teams that are eliminated. Not even looking at it. The only ones I index are two motivated teams that want to play and have to win or whatever the situation is. This game, I have KC as a motivated team against a eliminated team. And I would love for it to be versus a team that's resting. I don't know if the Raiders are going to be resting people or not. But one thing I do like in this game is Patrick Mahomes' player prop. Passing yards prop, because he has an incentive, and I could pull it up. I guess I should pull it up. I can pull it up. I'll pull it up right now.
Let's do it.
So there are some key player props that I have this week, which you'll like. But Patrick Mahomes, no, he has a single season record. He needs 430 passing yards to break Peyton Manning's all-time record. Now 430, that's a hell of a lot.
In one game.
Yeah, but do you think that Patrick Mahomes is the type of guy that doesn't know that in the back of his head and is going to want to, put up yards? I mean, here's the deal: if his prop is 320 or less, I'm taking it all day long because I think he's going to be motivated to at least take a crack at that. As far as a side in this game, I don't know what the I have the NHL odds up. I'm not taking a side in this game. It's not something I can cap.
It's 9.5.
It's not something I can cap because the Raiders are eliminated from the playoffs. But I guess I would lean towards laying all those points with KC. That would be my lean.
Okay.
Just because KC needs to lock up the number 1 seed.
Okay.
And they don't control their own destiny. If the Bills beat the Patriots this week, and then the game, if they ever play it again versus the Bengals, if they win out, they control their own destiny. So KC needs to win this game.
Okay. And I like that prop. Yeah. And I've been taking Mahomes over 2.5 touchdowns, probably 3 out of the last 4 games. And
they coincide with each other, whatever you feel more comfortable with. I'm going to take the yards probably, but we'll see when it comes out what it is.
Yeah. We definitely going to talk about it before the game starts because I'm very interested in that. And I love angles, and that's a great angle. He gets money if he breaks the props.
This isn't the money one. That's for other ones. He gets a record. He breaks the all-time
record.
Okay.
Hey, same thing. It's all on the record book. So
Yep.
It's all good. Did you have anything on the Titans and Jags, or they're both eliminated?
They're actually both teams that are super motivated. So
Okay.
I index this as the Jags as 5, almost 6-point favorites. The thing about this game is I didn't look if Tannehill's in or not. If Tannehill was in, I'd probably lean towards the Titans. But the Jags, and you know how low I am on them, they're playing good football. Now, all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So the line, I think the line is at 6 or
6.5.
6.5.
It's
Yeah.
6.
It's right where it should be. So there are better spots for me to bet in this, but the line's accurate. And if Tennessee doesn't have Tannehill in, I would lean towards the Jags.
Isn't this for the division?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Problem is Tennessee has not been, and I didn't look at how they're doing covering since he's been out. I mean, I think I've been on them twice and they haven't covered. They're just not the same. Even though Tannehill's not a great quarterback. Who's their backup? Malik, what's his face?
Malik Willis, I believe that's his name.
Yeah, he didn't cover that one game. I had him a few games. I don't know. I think that Jacksonville is a more complete, healthy team. And also, by the way, let's get into this. This is another prop. I forgot. There's another prop in this game I like, and it does have to do with the contract, and it's Christian Kirk. I'll read you it right now.
Okay.
All right. Christian Kirk can earn $500,000 for 80 catches and another $500,000 for 1,100 receiving yards. He needs 2 more catches and 91 more receiving yards. So
he's going to get that. He's going to get that.
I mean, definitely the catches for sure. But look to hit his props in this game. Not only that, but you have a game where they need to win. They're gonna be throwing the ball.
I'm on it.
Yeah,
you guys say no else about it. I'm on it for real. Motivation is the key, man. And money, what's the biggest motivator of all, buddy?
Yep.
So yeah, I'm with you on that one. Good call, Dave. That's some good shit. We can move on from the Texans and the Colts because I guess they're eliminated.
No, the Texans might end up winning the game finally, but winning a game,
But wouldn't that hinder their number one pick?
It might. Off the game. I'm just making a joke because the Colts are so bad.
Yeah, but I think they want to lose. But see, the Bears are sitting Justin Fields, so I think they're tanking too, trying to get that number one pick as well. So we'll see how that turns out. I definitely think you got some on this one. Bucks and Falcons, because can't the Bucks or they've already clinched the playoff, right?
They've already clinched. And the other thing too is they can't do any better.
Okay.
So they're resting everyone. They're going to rest people. So I actually leaned the Falcons.
Okay.
But I'm off that game too because I didn't pick a game. Like I said, the only games that I'm really the angle in this game is you have an eliminated team with a team that's resting players and going to the playoffs. It's kind of a hard who's going to play, who's motivated. I mean, I'd probably look at an under and the Falcons. That's what I'd look at.
Okay. Patriots and Bills.
Very interesting game. I do have a play in this game, and it goes against my index. The Patriots, the Bills I have as 9-point favorites, and it's actually going down. The line's dropping. So if you like the Bills, wait. But I like the Patriots. The Patriots have to win. The Bills can still lose this and be in the playoffs. And I'm going to take Belichick in a must-win game every time over. McDermott's a good coach. The Bills are a good team. Who knows where the Bills' heads are going to be? With what happened. But I'm taking right now, and I already took it. I got 8.5 because I think it's going to drop. I'll take over a touch. Give me Bill Belichick and over a touchdown in my pocket for a playoff hopes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is tough because I've had the Patriots the past 2 weeks, and they didn't cover by a point 2 weeks ago, and then they didn't cover by half a point last week. So we're trending in the right direction now.
Yeah, I like that. All right. So no Patriots.
Patriots with the points.
Patriots with the points. All right. +7. All right. Vikings and Bears. Did you have anything on this or no?
I don't. I'd love to see the Vikings lose. They're the most annoying team in the NFL. How do you have a team has 3 losses and their point differential is -30 or whatever the hell it is?
Mm-hmm.
Just shows you they've had a bunch of miracles happen for them. But Justin Fields isn't playing, right?
No, they said no.
Yeah. I don't know. This game, like I said, there are better spots.
Yeah. I got you. We can move on.
Yeah.
Let's definitely move on because, like I said,
the Vikings are sitting players too. They really can't. They're not really able to move anywhere.
Yeah, they're sitting right in the same spot they're going to be at.
Yeah.
Ravens and the Bengals.
Okay.
Did you have anything on this?
I sure do. I have the Bengals as 6-point favorites. I took Baltimore +7. Again, it has to do with the coach, Super Bowl winning coach that's been doing it forever, with an organization and a team. And by the way, they're in the maybe motivational. They could technically win their division if they win this and some other things happen, like if the Bengals lose to the Bills when they play them again. So actually, if you think about that, they are going to be motivated because the Bills can beat the Bengals, and if they beat the Bengals, then they're one shot away. I already took them +7, so I'm on the Ravens +7. I'm getting half a point of value, but I mean, shit, the Baltimore. This might be if you're looking for a spot to get a live dog, get some plus money. Maybe sprinkle the Ravens to win the game on the money line.
Nice.
If you want to gamble, I mean,
yeah. I'm not mad at that, to be honest. But the Bengals, they still can get the number 1 seed, right?
Yeah, they can't. And here's the deal: the Bengals, for all that I said, I mean, and by the way, they did not start. They're finishing the year strong. They did not start the year out real great. That O-line is not the same O-line. They were on pace to be the worst O-line in history as far as sacks goes, but they kind of turned it around. And Burrow is a good player. I was kind of harsh on him, but I mean, Baltimore is a great team. I mean, they can even be a great team with a backup QB. They just play hard, and their coach is we talk about points of value for teams. He's worth every bit of a touchdown to that team.
Yeah, I agree 100%. All right, man. Let's move on. Jets and Dolphins. Did you have anything on that?
Jets and Dolphins. This is so Hammer Poop. He gave out a stat. I don't know where he got it from, but he's a reputable guy, so I trust him. He said that teams that are eliminated that are facing teams that have to win, and I'm not sure if Miami has to win. If they lose, they're not in. We can look that up. But anyways, team that's eliminated versus a team that has to win to progress, or at least have a chance to progress. The team that's eliminated has covered 62% of the time in the past 32 years. That's a crazy stat. And like you said, I don't know where he got it from. He just kind of sent me a text. But even if that's slightly true, it's something to look at. So I guess I'm looking at the Jets. Doesn't mean that's what I'm betting it, but I haven't gotten into that stat yet. So, but I'm going to look Jets or nothing, I guess I should say. Okay.
That's it. Yeah, it is an interesting stat too. And
and by the way, and also Miami's on their this is a line that blew through zero. Yeah, and this is a line that blew through zero. Miami was the favorite, and now they're the dog. So that I also like to go with the line that way. Usually, when things blow through zero, they're telling you something.
Yeah, I agree. Panthers and Saints.
Next.
Yeah, Browns and Steelers.
Yes, I am leaning towards the Browns because they do fit that mold. The Browns are eliminated, and the Steelers are not. Steelers have to have a lot of things go their way. So I'm actually leaning the Browns. And Steelers are my second team, but screw them this year. I don't think I won one bet when I bet them. I think I bet them 3 or 4 times, and I don't know. I lean the Browns for the same reason I said I lean the Jets.
Okay. Chargers and Broncos.
No, next.
Giants and Eagles.
Yes. This is one that I'm actually the most confident about, and it's going to kind of maybe not blow your mind, but it goes against a lot of what I've done, that you guys have seen this past year on YouTube. And this is a team that is super motivated to win. For the Eagles are still fighting for number 1 seed. And the Giants, they're in the playoffs. Nothing they can do can change anything. They're going to be resting a lot of players. And we know on the Giants, there's a few players that mean a lot to them. Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones, these guys mean to them. So they'll be in there for a little bit, and then they're going to sit them, or maybe they won't even play. So I'm laying a big fat 14 points with the Eagles. And it's one of my more confident plays of the. It fits the model basically. Team that wants to win versus team that's sitting everyone. So you're getting like a second string team versus one of the best teams in the NFL.
And Jalen Hurts is coming back.
Yeah, well, even without, I'd do it with Minshew too.
You would?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. It wouldn't be 14 points. It'd probably be like 10.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
All right. Cardinals and 49ers minus 14.5.
So, and it's actually getting deeper. I really want to I really want to lay the points again with the Niners. Motivated team versus a team that's eliminated, but then it goes back on that trend that the eliminated team covers versus a team that needs to win. Problem is Arizona has if you look at their injury report, it's like a page long. And who knows, I don't know which quarterback's in. I'm going to be looking at a way to bet the 49ers. It probably won't be laying the points, but if someone told me they're laying the points with the Niners, I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, man. I laid the points last week with the Niners and they lost it. So.
Yeah. Oh, I bet against them. I bet against them 3 times this year. I've won every time.
Wow. What made you pick the points?
The index.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even with the backup quarterback, Stinson?
Wow.
Yep. Hey, okay.
The index takes into consideration that kind of stuff. But
okay.
But I'll tell you what, the Niners have made, they're betting on them and against them. One of my best teams in the NFL to bet in the game.
Yeah. Yeah. McCaffrey's been smashing, bro. I've been riding that train. Like I said, ever since he came to the team, I've just been McCaffrey. Anytime touchdown.
Yep.
Just automatic bet it. Rams and Seahawks? Anything?
Leaning Rams because of that stat that Hammer Poop gave. But this should so obviously be a crush spot for Seattle. Mm-hmm. But like I said, when I dive into that stat, this fits the model of a team that's eliminated versus a team that has to win.
Okay. Cowboys and the Commanders.
Nah, I'm off this game.
Monday night. Well, Sunday night. I'm sorry. There's no Monday night game because of the national championship. So
it's Sunday night game? Well, I'll find something, but right now I don't have anything.
You don't have any Detroit and Packers?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I like the Christian Kirk and I like the Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure we'll find some more props later on in the week. Oh,
yeah, it's early.
It's just something off the dome right now, early in the week that we could just throw out there for the people. Let's move on. Let's talk a little bit of NBA because it's a little short card tomorrow. I really didn't do any notes on it, because I had the show today with Jimmy. So I pretty much capped the card today. And for the most part, Dave, I think I've hit every single bet that I put out on Jimmy's show today.
I think I heard that. That's ridiculous.
I promise you, if I go back,
I'm not saying you're lying. I'm just saying that's kudos, man. Holy shit.
Yeah, I think I've hit every single one. I hit the prop. I hit the Jared Jackson prop over 2.5 blocks. I just hit the Claxton prop over 2.5. I'm waiting on KPJ. That's who I'm waiting on. He's playing right now, so we'll see how that goes. But I took let's see. Let me go back. Let's just make it official so I can let everybody know. Memphis. I took Memphis +-4 first half. That cashed. I took Cleveland -1.5 first quarter. I lost that one because they only won or did they win that first half? Cleveland, because they came back and won the game, but I think they lost it. They didn't cover it. They only won the first half by 1. So I lost that one. So that's 1-1. Over 119.5 first half of the Pacers and Phillies hit. So that's 2-1. The Knicks first quarter -3, first half -5 hit. So that's 6-1. The Nets first quarter over 61 with the Bulls hit. So that's 7-1. Minnesota first half money line, I believe, hit with Portland. Or is it, let me see, 29-31. That hit as well, sir. So 8-1. And I'm waiting on the Warriors first quarter. That hasn't tipped off yet. 9:00. Warriors first quarter. And Kings first half minus the half is the rest that I'm waiting on. So far as that, I'm 8-1. I said 7-8-1. 1 loss out of 8 picks.
Not bad.
Yeah, man, that makes me feel good. You know, I like
That's
to go on
awesome.
shows and because like I said, we put a lot of work in this and we like to, show our success with this work. So when we hit and we win, man, it feels good, man, because
Yeah.
all that work pays off. But as far as tomorrow, we got a little short 4 games. We got the Jazz and the Rockets, and Rockets on a back-to-back. They're playing right now, and they're coming back home. So the Rockets usually turn up at home. I took my wife and my son to the game Monday night to go see Luca. That's her favorite player. So, I got some brownie points for that with the wife. And Luca came. The Rockets were up the whole game, and I had Luca's PRA parlayed with LeBron's PRA that night, and I was looking at it, throughout the night, and he only had 5 points in the first quarter. So I'm telling my wife, I'm like, babe, I gotta have a big second half for Luca if I want to make this money.
Mhm.
And he came back and had 37, 11, and like 8, like in
Yeah.
the second half, bro. Like that lets you know stars, man, when it's time to step up, they have that extra button that they could, you know what I'm saying, click on it. And I love the fact that they were behind the whole game too. If they had the lead and it was a blowout, he probably would have sat and got some rest, and
Oh,
it would
yeah.
have killed my prop. I just love the fact that they were down on that. And that's what kept me energized and motivated to, like, he's gonna have to come back and win this game. So yeah, that was a good night. But like I said, Rockets, I would lean towards the Rockets first half at home because the Jazz are better at home. But as far as the side, it's just hard for me to take full sides and full games. I like me, I take quarters. I like to get in and get out,
Yeah.
because you can't trust these backdoor covers. You don't trust teams. They slack off in the second half, and they can have a 20-point lead and lose the game. So
Oh, yeah.
that's just how the NBA goes, man. So I just trust to take situations where they're vulnerable at. And I would lean the Rockets first half tomorrow night versus the Jazz at home. Did you have, like you said, you're easing into NBA right now, but do you have any teams or any sides that teams?
I've been picking it up. I just the thing is you can only do so much as far as like you don't do college, and so I've as football winds down, which it is, college is done. And hey Colby, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Cody? He's letting me know about my prop. It's not looking good for KPJ, he says.
Oh yeah.
It's all good, but you know what we did though? We cashed the Claston blocks. Of course, Kobe. I told you that's the money train. Over 2.5 blocks when he plays an Eastern Conference team. I'm telling you.
Jeez.
He hits it.
But I in that game, there's a couple teams that when they get real disrespectful lines, which just isn't that disrespectful. I'll give you, for instance, it's the Rockets and the Thunder and the Magic. Those are the 3 teams that are money teams. Thunder, we're getting 8.5 points versus the Celtics, and they beat them outright by like 100. They scored 150 points.
Yeah.
2 nights ago. So, or was it last night?
Last night. It was last night. Yeah.
It was last night. So, anyway, I'm on. I'm thinking about jumping on the Rockets. The only other game for tomorrow that I'm looking at is, I mean, granted, it seems like the books are begging you, even though the line dropped, to take the Mavericks at home, getting getting points, but Mavericks are rolling, and Boston seems to kind of be maybe starting to fumble backwards, even though they still have the best record in the league. And so I'm looking at maybe Mavericks, maybe Rockets tomorrow. Those are my 2, and then I might tail a prop or 2 if you have any. But
Lucas PRA at home.
Yeah.
Don't even think about it.
Just you're right.
Just bet it. Promise you. You can't go wrong. And I will lean towards the win too, because Boston's been because they're trying to implement Robert Williams back in that lineup. Yep. And sometimes he starts, sometimes he comes off the bench. So I think that's throwing off the rotation a little bit, and like I said, they're starting to digress back to the mean because, they were blowing people out. But once they went on that West Coast road trip is when they started to, peel back a little bit. And now teams
what's surprising is with him, how well they did without him, but how integral he was at the end of last season. So they are having to completely change styles. That makes complete sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't ever bet Boston, to be honest with you, because I got burned on them like really bad a couple of times, and it just sticks in my mind.
Yeah.
And I think of last year, actually, during the playoffs with the Warriors, not to say that I bet on them to win the series, but I just took them in certain situations that they fumbled on. Yeah. And it's just it put a sour taste in my mouth ever since. So
I'm
They're
not. I'm
just a
not a
team in
huge
our
fan of
league.
the Celtics. I'm a Lakers fan.
Yeah. And yeah, I agree. And Clippers and Nuggets last game tomorrow night. I think Jokic is out.
Is he? Yeah, I'm off. I'm off. I looked at it. There's nothing I liked about the game at all. Trends are, I didn't look at the props, but two teams that don't excite me very much. I mean, I could probably look at a total in that game, either a first half total or a full game total, and make a decision. But there's this time of year, there's no reason to force a bet in any game because you have so much to bet on.
Yeah, exactly. So you might as well, like I said, just keep sticking to what's working. Is the best advice I could give people that want to really give. What's the best advice you could give somebody about sports betting? Stick to what has been working for you. Bottom line. All right, man. So that short card tomorrow, NBA. Friday's going to be a little bit more better. But we can move on to the last one, man. Let's talk about this national championship next Monday night. TCU versus Georgia. Georgia's minus 12.5 favorites. TCU won me some money against Michigan. I didn't take the money line, but I took the points. And I'm happy I did. They showed that people were underestimating them. And I love dogs that like to be underestimated. And Michigan, they fumbled a lot on themselves as well. I'm not going to necessarily say TCU went in there and smacked them up like that. I just think Michigan made a couple of key mistakes, and TCU beat them at their own game. And Michigan couldn't recover from that, for some reason. But like I said, I didn't cap NCAA at all year. I just jumped on the national, the final semifinals is when I usually try to see where I can make some money, and I like to take the dog. So I didn't take the dog with Georgia and who are they? Ohio State. I didn't take Ohio State. I didn't take Georgia either. I just wanted to probably sit back and just watch that game. And I probably wasn't going to watch most of it until I saw the TCU Michigan game. And once I saw how exciting that game was, I was like, well, let me check out this Ohio State and Georgia game because it probably is going to be equally exciting. And I was right. It was equally exciting, man. If Ohio State shanked the kick, we would have been talking about them right now. So what are your thoughts, man? National championship, TCU and Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, I was on Michigan and I was in Ohio State. So I won one, I lost one. And Michigan didn't come to play. Again, they did the same thing last year against Georgia, but Georgia was – even though Georgia's a really good team this year, Georgia had an elite team last year. And don't sleep on Georgia. This is the thing. Georgia's the 6th highest scoring offense and the 5th highest lowest scoring. They're the 6th best offense and the 5th best defense. I mean, how do you get better than that? No shit. They're in the national championship. But the thing about it is TCU does need some respect. I thought they lost some respect when they lost to Kansas State in the last game of the season to question whether they should be in the top 4 to go to the playoffs. But that game versus Michigan showed that they have the chops, at least on offense, to keep it going. And that was the big question. Could TCU, coming from the Big 12, which is supposed to be weaker than the Big 10, definitely weaker than the SEC, can they compete with the top-ranked defense? They did. So Georgia's a tad bit better than Michigan was this year, one of the best defenses in the country. But TCU showed that they can show up. And when I index this, it ain't no 12.5 points. What did I have it at? I have Georgia as a touchdown favorite. So I'm going to take the points. And hope that we see the TCU team that we saw against Michigan and not against Kansas State the game before that. So TCU.
Hey, I'm right there with you, sir. I already locked it in, so don't have to convince me anymore about it. And like I said, man, we done. That was a quick show, hour, 9 minutes. Talked about, a couple of hockey games, went over the NFL slate for that week 18. Give me your thoughts on some future NFLs. How do you think it's going to play out, and what teams you think are going to eventually end up in the Super Bowl in the NFL?
So I think if I always say gun to my head, but that's the best way of putting it because there's so many other things to think about. If I had to say the team that was coming out of the AFC, it's the Chiefs, and it's just because they've been there before. They're one of the best coaches of all time. You got one of the best quarterbacks of all time. I think the road for the playoff goes through Kansas. I mean, it could actually it might go through Buffalo, but I don't care. I think until Buffalo steps it up, Kansas City is still the best team in the AFC. In the NFC, I don't know how things are going to shake up because there's still a lot of movement that has to be done.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that either Philadelphia or San Francisco comes out of the NFC personally. I think the Vikings lose in the first round. I think they're overrated.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's been a lot of noise in the NFC East, which is no longer the NFC least, because you're going to get how many? You're going to get 3 teams out of there. Maybe
Giants, Eagles, Cowboys.
Yeah, get 3. But here's the deal: none of that. The Cowboys and the Giants aren't. They're not better than the Eagles or the Niners, in my opinion. And I also think the Green Bay might. Who would have thought might be a story? They might get in the playoffs. They might win a first round, and or at least compete. So if one of those teams does go down, the Eagles or the Niners, to the Packers, I wouldn't be completely shocked because it's just one of those storylines that you see. Something crazy at the end of the season happen. I think if I had to put money on a crazy thing that's going to happen, is the Packers happening to get in and make a run. But they need some help and they need to win, and we know all that. But it just seems kind of that storyline.
Okay. I mentioned earlier in the season, right when the 49ers traded and got McCaffrey, I put plus 500 that the 49ers was going to win the NFC. And I'm pretty confident in that pick. I don't backup quarterback. It doesn't matter, man. Shanahan's scheme is the way it is. All he needs to do is just have a great defense that could stop the other team from scoring. And I just think the Raiders was an anomaly. I don't think that defense is going to be like that, going further into the playoffs. So 49ers is bet on for me. I've already invested in. As far as the AFC, I had the Ravens until Lamar Jackson went down. So I think that's killed. So I can agree with you with Kansas City, but I haven't lost faith in Cincinnati, man. And I think if Kansas City and Cincinnati meet up for the AFC Championship, I'm going to have to lean towards Cincinnati until Patrick Mahomes can prove that he can beat Burrow.
Yeah.
He's already lost to him twice. So, I think it's 3 times now. I think it's 3 times he's lost to Burrow.
It might be.
Because it's twice in the regular season and once in the playoffs. Yeah.
Yep. You're
so,
right.
That would be my initial thoughts, but I would count. That would be a great AFC championship because I'm with you with Buffalo. I think they depend a lot on Josh Allen, you know, and I think that's going to catch up with them, when it's time for them to actually get into the playoffs and go against a team that understands.
He hasn't proven to be a guy that can get it done. Patrick Mahomes did that when he first did it. It was against my Niners. He came back with Niners were beating him in the first 3 quarters of the game, and he came back to win. Look what happened versus Minnesota. The whole reason that they lost that game was because he had Butterfingers in his own end zone. So the jury is still out on whether Josh Allen is a bona fide winner in gritty grit time. But I mean, the AFC has the better teams, and I worry too that if the Niners do get to the Super Bowl, which will have my attention, they're my team. I do not want them to face the Chiefs because they played them this year. They played them in the Super Bowl. They have their number. I actually would think they have an open chance versus any other team except for the Chiefs. The Chiefs just have their number.
I would rather them play the Bengals because
the Bills even. Shit.
Yeah, the Bills too. But I will the Bengals because of the tendency of Burrow getting sacked. I think the 49ers can pressure them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And disrupt them more than, any other team.
Well, that should have happened last year, but it didn't. So
right?
Yeah.
Well, but we'll see what happens, man. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, playoffs, we can make some big money in the playoffs. So I'm very looking forward to it. So all right, Dave, appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much for coming on. Let the people know where they can find you and how they can get at you.
Picks from Dave everywhere on Twitter, on YouTube. Pick videos, picks. Nerd and the Turd on Friday nights. We do Nerd Talk. we've kind of disbanded the Capper Collective. That might come back, but we do Nerd Talk is the new I guess name for any show that we do, like a playoff show or whatever. So you'll be invited to. We just haven't been doing much NFL, and then obviously here with my boy LJ. Hopefully we can do a lot more in basketball. See, I'm ready for basketball to get going.
Man, I'm ready too. Like I said, we can do a lot more. I just got to prepare a little bit more. My job, peak season is over, so I have a little bit more time to prepare, and we can jump on, talk and see if we can make some money, man. Because, like I said, I love the collective effort that we all can throw thoughts and things that we can look at angles and make some money, bro. So I really appreciate you coming on with me, and we'll do it again soon. So until then, follow me at LJ Sports Media on Twitter. RaWordz podcast streaming right now. Like, subscribe, follow, and we will be back at a later time. We'll tweet it out and let you know when that time is. So until then, appreciate who's in the chat. Thanks for following me, Dave. Appreciate you, man. And we are out.
Yeah, RAW. Words being served, no concern and no trouble to get that dough. Money on my mind, if it's money all the time, we be pubbing on the grind. If it's LJ from Houston, pulling up stats, you'll be pulling in stacks, hitting rookies from the back with no Vaseline. I need green and upsea quantities for a fiend, save the dreams for a game. This is H-Town, home of the lean ass.